I'm Stephanie Klasse, beauty editor of Novelty Bride magazine, and today we're going to be doing a beautiful bridal look on Rebecca. So I'm just going to start by cleaning up any makeup remnants, and I'm being very specific to use a makeup remover that does not need to be removed. Bridal makeup really needs to last all day, all night, and through some pretty extreme conditions, and the last thing you want is the makeup remover that you used under your makeup to start breaking down your makeup from underneath. Starting with really properly prepped skin is incredibly important with all makeup applications, but especially bridal makeup. You're not necessarily going to do the same thing you would do every day under your makeup, again, because this makeup has to really last all day. So it's very important to have light and glow in the places that you want and not where you don't want it. So I'm using a mattifying moisturizer, something that's really hydrating but also mattifying. And I'm feeling for any areas where I might want to go and add any additional, slightly more rich moisturizer. I'm using the Makeup Forever HD Ultra Liquid Foundation. This is a foundation that I love for everyday use, but it looks just gorgeous and its staying power is really, really fantastic. So I'm just dotting it throughout the center of the face, and I'm gonna blend outward from there. And I'm using a slightly damp blending sponge as I press the foundation into the skin. So I'm doing a nice, light, even layer of coverage all over her face, and then I'm gonna go back in with something with more pigment and be much more strategic. I'm using a foundation that is just a couple shades deeper than her natural skin tone. It's very subtle, but it can be really high impact, especially here on the cheekbones, just to give a little added depth to make sure those flashes don't take all the dimension of her face structure away. I'm just gonna set all this with a really light layer of translucent setting powder. So the look I want to do today is a really highly requested bridal look. It is something that incorporates a smoky eye, a little bit of shimmer, warm tones. So we're going to start by priming the eye. That's really, really important to use a good eyeshadow primer. I love the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and a little bit goes a really long way because we still want to make sure the makeup will blend. I'm going to do a final sweep just to make sure that it's fully blended. I'm going to start with a waterproof eyeshadow stick, but anything that's waterproof will set really, really quickly and quit blending on you if you don't work fast. Making sure that I leave this area of the lid open, because anytime we're doing more of a smoky eye, you have to be very careful not to make the eyes look closed off. So I'm focusing right along the lash line and in that outer corner, really working that into the crease. I like to start on the top and not come all the way out to the outer corner. And then after I do the shadow color, whatever I'm doing for eyeliner on the bottom, I really like to connect that to the top and then work from there to make sure that the shadow color hasn't pulled down too far, because that will make the eyes look downturned. And we want everything to look very lifted and open. And this here creates a really nice base. So whatever we do on top is gonna grab onto that, and we're creating the depth from underneath. And so it's gonna look really beautiful and still natural. Now that we have that base smudged out layer, I'm gonna go in and add little bits of light strategically using shadows that have that nice golden tone, but also almost a slight pink in there. The slight amount of pink that's in there is just gonna make her skin look really fantastic. I'm gonna pull that up even more here, and it's really gonna open up her whole eye space. This is just kind of a mix of different bronzy shadows, and I'm gonna press that right into that waterproof shadow stick we placed before. Your secret weapon to getting a good, beautiful, sophisticated, smoky eye is making sure that the deeper shades you use reflect light. If it will catch the light still, it's gonna still be able to open the space up, and it's not gonna make her eye look closed off, and is really gorgeous and very sophisticated. And again, I'm gonna press those deeper colors that I pressed along her bottom lash line into that outer third. And we have that gorgeous depth coming from underneath there. And then these shadows just really catch the light beautifully. So I like to move on to brows at this point because they frame the face, they're really important. And for someone who's not used to filling in their brows regularly, it is something that I really recommend for a wedding day. It really gives a nice depth and structure to the brows, even just to add a little bit of powder. Right now I'm using a gel, and it doesn't take a lot of product, and it really depends on your specific brows. I'm just taking a matte, pale pink bone-ish shade because everything I've done so far reflects light. If I used that up under her brows, it would really start being too much. So in order to maintain balance, I want to make sure that I am using a shade to blend up here and under the brow that is matte. Because Rebecca has such gorgeous blue eyes too, the bronzes and the golds that are in there are instantly going to set off her eye color. So I'm just taking a black gel liner. This is the MAC Fluid Line, and a nice stiff flat liner brush. And I'm just pressing this into the eyelash line to add definition to the lashes. But just pressing that black gel liner, we already have so much more depth at the lash line. And that's really important if we want to use false eyelashes. And it's not even something that you need to go all the way into the inner corner. You can, but even just 3/4 of the way across, subtly pressed in to the lash line. That looks great. You get it right at the base and give it a few nice squeezes. And then we're gonna walk it up the lash to really give it a curl. I can't get on board with the clamp and hold situation. And because we're gonna be doing individual eyelashes, I personally like putting on mascara first because we're creating a custom set of eyelashes basically. So once your mascara is on, you can see the areas that you wanna fill and where you wanna place those lashes much more easily. And really get the mascara down to the base of the lashes to meet where we put that thin line of gel eyeliner. So I'm using these short black flare eyelashes, and you can use black or clear glue. And it's okay, when I pull the eyelash out, it gets a little less perfect. I think that's better because it's gonna blend with the lashes much more naturally. So look down for me. And these are incredibly comfortable. After a few minutes of having them on, you'll forget they're there and you won't have the same issues that you would with a pair of strip eyelashes. And because they flare out, you don't need to stack them on top of each other. I only have 3 in, and that looks fantastic. All right, so Rebecca loves a nice sheen on her cheekbone, and I am using a nice small blush brush. So this is a peachy pink blush that has a really beautiful gold highlight mixed into it. I'm not going up too high. I'm not using it like a highlight. I'm going right along her cheekbone and pressing that in. And this blush, when it is photographed, is amazing. So for our lips, I'm gonna fill in the entire lip with this really gorgeous nude shade. It's not too brown, it's not too pink. And I'm just gonna use it to create a base for the color and add longevity and even out and enhance the lip shape. Choose a lip product that you feel comfortable maintaining. This is a lip lacquer, and I'm focusing on the center of the lip. Wherever you start with your product is where it's gonna be the most concentrated, and you blend out from there. So right now we have our finished bridal look, our beautiful, bronzy, smoky eye, pretty punchy colored cheek, Still very sophisticated. It's very runway relevant. This really gorgeous golden bronzy smoky eye, and it's something that can be tailored to any bride. It can look very natural. You can add a lot of drama, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful.